Yo, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Connection Podcast. On today's episode, I'm here with Chris and Brian from MaxFit. I'm here with the crew of with MaxFit, and we're going to be talking about the importance of video for your social media. Stick around. Don't forget, smash that subscribe button. Also, this show is now on iTunes. It's on Spotify. We're super pumped. Make sure you're tuning in there if you don't have time to watch this right here on YouTube. Stick around. We'll be right back with them.
You're tuned in to the Connection Podcast. We are a team of content creators and digital marketers connecting you each week to successful entrepreneurs and marketing experts that provide informational, inspirational, and motivational success stories in the world of digital marketing.
Yo, and welcome to the show, Chris. How you doing?
I'm amazing. Thank you for having us to this amazing podcast.
Yeah, and Brian, and thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of this.
Wouldn't miss it.
Man, this guy just told me he's a fan of the show, so I'm a little nervous right now. Yeah, no, but really honored to have you guys here. And just really quickly, and for everybody listening, I am a fan, an absolute fan of what you guys are doing on social media.
Thank you so
guys
much.
are absolutely killing it, and I love it, and that's why I wanted you guys to be a big, be a part of the show.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, and we're likewise, fans of yours as well. And I think our careers parallel in terms of what we've been through, and it's awesome to see you blossom and doing all these great stuff. So happy to be here for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. We're honored. Brian, tell me a little bit about. We'll start with you, Brian. Tell me a little bit about yourself, and then how you met Chris, and then we'll get into. And then Chris, you could tell me a little bit more about MaxFit.
So this journey, I think it started 2007 for me. For me, 2007. Chris was already established. I had got into the supplement business. Really, I just needed a job, and then about a year or two into it, I was told by my company to go check his prices, and then that's how we met each other. And then I was flat out honest with him, but we were always competitors on a very professional level. Like if I didn't have something, I sent him to Chris, vice versa. But it was apparent we were competitors. And then 2 years ago, I walked in, I said, hey man, I think I can help you grow from my experience being in corporate America, corporate retail supplement industry. Okay. And that's, we always had a mutual respect for each other, and we just hit the ground.
There's been a ton of competitors coming and going, and it's rare. It's rare where, you have that neutral kind of respect and mutual respect. And there's, never got ugly between Brian and I, even though we were, obviously we're chasing the same dollar. So it was a no-brainer for me. I definitely wanted to leverage the experiences that he had, and I was aware of my shortcomings and delving deeply into, self-awareness, right? And that's a common buzzword and a theme, but focus heavily on the stuff the strengths that I have, which are a lot, and then like any human being, I have weaknesses, and Brian was able to shore up a lot of end caps and staffing and a lot of stuff that we were dealing with issues at the time, and then it kind of developed into a point where we're like, hey, we kind of fixed a lot of the issues. I patched a lot of holes, and we were charging full steam. And then Brian started showing a lot of interest in, like the social media marketing that we were doing. And I think you had been coming in and you were working on some side projects of your own, which you were, we had some conversations about ClickFunnels, and I didn't know that between a funnel cake or a ClickFunnels. I know a lot about funnel cakes. But I faked it and pretended I knew what I was talking about. And Brian truly has a passion for the marketing side of things. I have a passion for putting my face out there, and I wanted somebody that was consistent, trustworthy to assist in growing the monster. So it kind of like organically, he's been learning, and like you guys, like self-education and continued growth, and and there's a conversation him and I were having because we talk a lot. Confidant in terms of like, it's fun. Like I could go pack boxes at UPS, and there's nothing against anybody who does that for a living, but it's exciting for me is that like, I think when we were competitors, I was on MySpace, we have to stay on our toes, right? Yeah. And it wasn't I don't think there was ever any advertising on MySpace. No, if not, I couldn't afford it at the time, but
That's how you got your start, right?
Yeah, I mean, Friendster was the first social media platform that I was on, and then definitely one of the stories I shared was I had friends, people in bands, you know, and those friends in bands. How do I make that my profile super cool, you know? So then exactly, and you're like, you start learning, you start dabbling into that, and I had already been building some websites and stuff, so I had a little bit of knowledge with that. But yeah, I don't think there was any paid ads at the time. If not, again at the time I wasn't a marketer, you know.
I mean, I wasn't either.
I was a creator.
It was what I did last weekend.
And, opening the doors.
Sure.
I love it. Just to fill our guest in just a little bit, and again, I've been knowing who you guys are for years and years. But MaxFit is provides supplement, meals, health nutritional meals, apparel, and you guys have 2 locations.
2 locations now.
And both locations have been around since about 2004.
No, sir. Yeah.
So tell us more.
So I'm originally from Santa Cruz. Moved out here with a partner that I had at the time, who's at the time was a current store owner. We opened a spot out here. I'd never been to Salinas, maybe once or twice, Toys R Us, as a kid or something like that. But so I had no awareness. I knew nobody, 0 people, -0 people. And I came out here and we had a store together, this gentleman, and we eventually parted ways because it was just floundering a little bit. And I started upon the journey of entrepreneurship at that particular time. So that was about 2004. I had been working for him for about five years. So total, I've been in the supplement business for 2 decades almost. And so the awareness of the business, but at that particular time, it went from like taking half my inventory, and going to the gym. And as we all know that being an entrepreneur requires a little bit more than that. So, I kind of had some good success and, floundered a lot and wasted a lot of time. But, building relationships is one of the key things that I think allowed me to even stay in business all along those years, the first formative years where you're making your mistakes, and having the time, which I don't have a lot of now, to sit there and build relationships, have bonds with my customers and stuff that individuals that I still talk to today on social media, and they come into the store and builds loyalty and really it catapulted us to somewhat of a brand in the community, and it's only kind of snowballed from there. But that's something I do struggle with now, and it's the beauty of social media where if I had every time of the day. And that's why, I'm trying to delegate more stuff like paperwork and stuff like that. Yep. So I can keep the relationships with the customers a top priority, and that's something I personally enjoy. I enjoy knowing people's journeys, what they're about, and in the whole shebang. So that translates to actually caring for, the odd, caring for your customer. I know it's not, it's not a common thread in any business, but it taught me and it firmly ingrained in me that actually doing the best you can, getting to know your customer, getting to know what they previously purchased. That way, when you come in, if it was the right thing for you, that should be the core fundamental thing for any business. Now, with social media, if I can't meet everybody, I can do my best to have dialogue online via comments, via DMs, and even to this day, I spend a majority of my life, dealing with that kind of stuff, and actually enjoy going back and forth with customers in DM. I don't even watch TV; I just go home and
build conversations. Yeah,
exactly.
Cool. With your social audience, that's huge. Just a really quick little story, and I won't make this long story. I'm gonna make this long story really short. When I first,
I'll make it long for you.
I'm gonna make it really short. We can move forward. But I want to just applaud you, and really just going to give you props. When I first stepped foot into your store, I really had a really warm welcome.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I think right away I established that you were the owner. Again, I didn't know who you were quite at that time. I think it was about 2.5 years ago.
I don't even think we were heavily invested in
it's about 2.5 years ago or something, and we're
sure.
right here in beautiful Old Town Salinas, and I walked in, and I mean the vibe was great, and the man that was answering my questions was just such a good guy. You know, I was like, this is cool. You know, like, and that felt great, and I think that that reflects off of what we've been seeing on your social media. They're very conversational, very responsive, very fun, very uplifting, motivational, and that's really what the Connection Podcast is all about. You know, just sharing really, beautiful stories, I want to call, and really inspiring others, and really seeing if we can get some good information that might help motivate somebody else to be going down that same path. Wouldn't you say? Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the direction we're going in. Chris saw early on, was the first person that I really saw start following Gary Vaynerchuk, which is like the guru, right? As far as motivation goes.
He's the god. He's the man.
There was this progression of watching him from afar. We weren't competitors at the time, but I was following him on social media and watching him from afar and his journey on mindset and his journey on growth and value. And I started following suit. That's how this journey started. We went from Gary Vaynerchuk to a book, Jim Collins' Good to Great, which is one of the things that we recommend. If you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching this, go read that book. Go get the audiobook. I've listened to the audiobook probably 12 times since we started working together. Every lesson in that book is valuable. If you're a business owner of any sort, is valuable to your business. And we took those properties, those principles in that book, and when we got together, we just put them in place. And it was hard. It's not easy. It was hard, but along that way for the last 2 years, we've come across a lot of information. And like you said, we've just jumped in. You have to just jump in. You just have to.
I love that.
A lot of business owners, especially in this area, are reluctant. They're still set on, and I'm not saying traditional media doesn't work or marketing doesn't work, but they're afraid to even dip their toe in the water. And once you put your foot in the water and you see the results, it's out of this world.
I think I've heard it's for kids. Social media is for kids, where every member of my family over the age of 60 is on social media and even Instagram now. So the idea of that, from a I don't collect money for marketing, but I can understand like somebody afraid to invest in something that's for kids and it's not fitting their demographic, and that couldn't be further from the truth, right?
I mean, it's all aged. It's all aged. It's all when he first started, that is the core base for MaxFit. And I think that's why you saw a lot of the results, the success, is because the early adopters are his core base for pretty much all the brands. But it's aged, and so has our customer base. Our customer base grew up with this technology, and then we have older people adopting this technology, and we're getting into new markets. And those are avenues we hadn't tapped in the future. I mean, in the past. It's stuff that we're really into now, and we're starting to see the benefits of it.
And I've aged too. So if Instagram was around in my MySpace days, it's aged. So it's a happy, you can scroll down your feed and see.
Yeah, let's switch. You just were pointing. We had it pulled up your IG account. Go ahead and dive into it. And here I'm on your IG account here, just for those that are listening.
So I mean, I try to repost. These are some customers that have come in, and they're very loyal customers. And if somebody takes the time to not only come to your store, which is a hard thing to get someone to do, but go out to their car, put the product they bought from your car on their hood, and then take a picture. I'm see what they wrote here. I mean, so this is social awareness aspect.
Yep.
That's like a retarget. Like I reposted it, but that's like it's free marketing for us. That's not. I don't think that's why they did it, because we're a family.
Yep.
And I feel like an obligation, at least when I can, repost some stuff like that and show them that, hey, now this is a girl that we recently brought to the team. And she was very thankful, because she was. I like her backstory. I think she was pregnant at 17, and gained weight, and went through the whole hustle of life and how when things get complicated, and now she's like totally transformed. So,
I'm gonna need one of these sweaters. That's a hot sweater right there, Brian. That's a hot sweater.
When he showed me, so the earliest marketing, like here's the thing, earliest marketing that Chris has ever done was the gorilla here's a T-shirt marketing.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, number one, that was like the original marketing technique.
And I'll make
Thanks for diving into that, because I was
don't
going
make
to
a dime on T-shirts.
Not one bit.
No, I lose.
Yeah. Yep.
I gain tenfold.
Yeah.
But that was so. It's no disrespect to any marketer, but if you're going to do anything above and beyond social media and video ads on social media or just video content, T-shirts.
Yeah.
Find a well, qualified quality T-shirt person and do the best you can and give them out, reward people, because when they see me here, they see anyone wearing the stuff in the gym, they see it. Like I can't remember where my wife and I were. We were in San Diego, Legoland, and there's someone wearing a MaxFit shirt.
That's awesome. That's an awesome story, because you hear the contrast of those that are actually trying to sell their T-shirts and then they fail. And then their small little business crashes. And things like that. You're using this is kind of like traditional marketing, but handouts, shirts, T-shirts.
I've had like other T-shirt
huge
companies.
Success.
How did you get your brand everywhere?
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you. I gave them away. If that's how you survive, you're going out of business.
You buy a box of business cards that come in a box of 1,000. You can put it into their hands anyways. This T-shirt is probably way more effective.
I can't tell you. I don't even carry business cards. And my wife, who is a director in ER, she wants to strangle me. But you can find me, man. If you get a hold of me, and you don't. If you can't find me, then we don't need to talk, right? So because I'm everywhere. Right?
I'm terrible with business cards.
I am
Absolutely
too, but
terrible.
When's
with
the last time It's like putting, not to go down the rabbit hole of T-shirts, but putting like your brand on there and putting next to cigarette shop or so. You don't need to do that. Yeah. Like we made it like not a tacky shirt with my name and address and the telephone, the web design. It's just a logo, but it's that repetitive branding, coupled with other marketing techniques that we're very consistent with. That creates the whole package for success. So, I mean, I get to the point, I just bought 1,000-something T-shirts. And if you're coming to, you're gracious enough that in a sea of Amazon and Walmarts and other stores out there, box stores, and you come into my humble shop and you spend $100, why can't I give you something that costs me $4? But the perceived value of that T-shirt is $20. You go anywhere, you can't get a decent T-shirt, and I don't work with the cheapest guy that that you can't even wash your car because it's like sandpaper. I get high quality stuff, that doesn't wear off. Because what if it costs me $2.50 or $5? If it costs me $2.50 and it all comes off, it's one-time use. I see my shirts, like original logos I haven't produced in 4 years, still being worn. So you invest a little bit more in quality. The same thing with your audio video guy, and your website, and it's all mistakes we learn. We regret is having to pay for something twice. I learned that along the way, but it's a juggling match of what you can afford at the time, and sometimes you can't always afford the best. But the end goal should be always to try to go premium as you can, and then that's that. So I'm gonna.
Let me get you to just raise that mic up just a little bit.
So if you're in the marketing world, that's called a value-added item that you add to something. Like if you're selling something on the internet, or you're selling something in your store, and it's something that you add to the price that you're already charging somebody. That's not part of the product. That's not what you're trying to sell them. That is additional to that, and that was before social media. Like before that concept was really out there, Chris is out there doing that. And we identified that, and we've done that across the board for all the other businesses. We've tried to add additional value that is on top of what the person's already getting. And that's the difference between what MaxFit does and what a lot of our competitors do, because I've been a competitor and know what they do, and we do the complete opposite. Everybody's running this way. We're running this way because we know that that's the direction to go in.
Just before we start diving really deep into the importance of video and video marketing, and just video for your social media. Have you guys dived into television commercials, radio, some of those? Maybe a bunch of print. Traditional.
I would love to get my money back forever. That's 500 T-shirts I could have made. No, I have. No, there's some good.
You know what? You could be really open and honest about the conversation a bit, because
because I haven't, and it's maybe a little prejudging because I don't know. When I first started doing Instagram, the algorithm was like I could get more exposure from just posting than an actual ad almost these days. But those days are come and gone, and they're smart enough to like get the little free action for a while and then change the game up on us. But that's okay because now everyone's not getting that attention. If you actually put a little bit of money into the game, you can go far. But I have done some ads on special occasions. But in all honesty, and I you gotta like. Same thing with social media, same thing with anything you do, you have to invest into a longer period of time. So if I've done like little, New Year things, and it's not enough time, not a long enough exposure to really get that full return on it. So I can't, and there's some really friends of mine, that are, in that particular business and medium and I just can only do so much. And I know from there was like 2 years where every night I had Gary V, like my first boosted post. You loved go ahead. No. Boosted post was at 4 a.m. After I couldn't sleep. Nice. I was stressed out. Right, it's like the slow season. Stressed out. I got Gary V in my ears. My wife's asleep. Turn down the dimmer, dim your phone. Okay,
I have those.
I'm sleeping in the room.
That's nice, dude. It's cool though. But I'm motivated, and it just got you going.
And his thing is, I think he was on like some New York. We've all probably heard this one. He was on the morning show. What's that show?
Good Morning America.
No, it was like some big New York City hip hop radio.
He's on Breakfast Club.
You heard that one?
Yeah.
He's like, whatever you're doing, just boost a post. If you don't know what you're doing,
I'm
a freaking boost a post. And I actually had people come in.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I was just boosting. Like, dude, I've spent. There's nobody in town.
Yeah.
I can't see like.
I don't think there's anybody in town that
spent more than me, man. I could buy a Ferrari.
Hands down.
I believe it.
There's no
I don't think there's anybody in this market.
And that's not that.
Okay, so guys,
I
mean, I do TV commercials for the local car dealerships. They're not afraid to drop $10,000 for their TV marketing.
Right.
But everybody in this market, and I'm going to say it, is afraid to drop $10,000 on their digital marketing.
I think I've dropped close to it, and I got
a month. Not per year.
No,
per month. This is our local market. We're not talking national.
Right.
We're not talking a national retail. You guys may be going to San Jose and California.
I've done close to that in 1 month.
Oh, excellent.
But I got like 25,000 more gross sales. That's
awesome.
Right.
Wow. That's amazing.
Well, I mean,
so that was not even. That was pre-Brian. That was boosting posts, dude. Cool. Like, but we're way targeted, way beyond all that stuff. Yeah. But it was a different time too, where like,
it was acceptable. You could get away with it because nobody was doing it.
But it also brought like over targeting sometimes can be a problem. I don't think it really is anymore because we're dissecting that stuff. We change on a dime if we need to. But like that's the thing too. Auditing too. Like you don't just throw something out there. That's the beauty of social media. You can actually see.
Well, the thing is that's the difference between traditional marketing. I'm gonna drop the bomb on everybody right now. If you're out there, you're listening. Yeah. If you're spending money on TV ads and radio ads, they're telling you that these are your demographics. Yep. Those demographic numbers are old, which means they're 6 months, 3 months old before those Nielsen rating comes out. I can see in live real time right now who's clicking on my page at any time throughout the day.
Yep.
I can see how many sales we have. I can see who went through whatever we're doing. I can see how many people watch our videos for a specific amount of time. Now, that breaks it down. It doesn't say who it is, but it breaks it down into who those people are, their age, demographics, their all of that stuff. And if you don't understand that the data is out there now to win, to set you up to win, and you're still doing losing techniques, we're way far ahead of you because of that reason, because we identified that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love this.
And we're able to tone it down. Like I could have the greatest, I got the greatest idea. And if it's dogging and people are swiping away,
is there a way that we can go to Facebook or Facebook page?
Yeah, we'll pull it. Well, actually, one of my questions I was going to ask is, do you guys have a favorite social media profile? Not profile, but platform.
Instagram right now, I think.
Yeah.
Not favorite, but it.
Are you talking like favorite
just like
for what have we?
I'm sorry. As far as like for your exactly. Do you want me to go to MaxFit page?
Go to Shop Max Fit. Yeah, go to Shop Max Fit Facebook. I want to show them the video of we're starting to do things different.
I'm on meals, and we
it should be Max
Shop
Fit
Max.
no, sorry, it should be
Max
Max
Fit
Fit
Meals,
Meals.
yeah.
Max Fit Meals is right. Facebook, our branding's slightly off, but not too bad.
Well, our branding is being transitioned away from the Max Fit Sports Nutrition, which was
a little hardcore. Yeah.
hardcore, and was just like it was only a fraction of what we do now.
Blends.
We have a smoothie bar that
Food.
I mean, in wintertime, the heart of winter, I mean, Tyler, my assistant over there, we did 1,000-something blends, and that's only a year or something old.
You might have
right?
to. We don't. Oh, man, I wish we.
What's that?
Click on the videos.
click on this video.
On the side. On the
No,
side
don't
to the
click
Oh
left.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, here's the thing too. This is where we donated.
Sorry-
we got
sorry about that.
$500. And there was a kid who
Here, I'm going to show you something real quick. I don't know if you guys know this.
Go
Click
ahead.
on the left hand side. Click on info and ads there at the bottom.
Yep.
You guys probably know this if you're in the
Yes.
business.
Yes, sir.
And it's not him.
Oh,
Scroll
good.
down.
We're
Yeah,
going
Grant,
deep.
that one's good. But I think that even Chris doesn't know this just trick. Keep going down.
This one?
Nope. That's the one we want to
This
watch.
one.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So
I like it.
we came up with this idea. This isn't our idea.
That's living color right there.
There's a TV right here.
So
That's going great.
we came up with this idea.
Hey guys, it's Chris Spencer, and I'm about to save this guy's lunch. Hey, what's up, bro? How's it going? What was that? Eat this instead. Okay, give it a shot.
Don't judge the video skills. It's not-
My crew
Man, I'm
here,
so
they
glad Chris
go
saved
at
my
least
lunch.
3-4 days a week down to Max Fit to
But it
to eat
went-
food
it went-
for their
Hey
lunch.
guys, it's Chris
Semi-viral
Spencer, and I'm about to
because
save this guy's lunch.
it was different,
what's up,
right?
bro?
It was something that was people related to and something that people identified with, and then we tied it in. Obviously, there's a little bit of a sales pitch there, but not like a hard sales pitch, right? We're all about value and providing the value, not just with the food. The food is phenomenal. We can go on for an hour just on the food podcast alone, but we want to make sure that people understand that this is what we're really like. We really are like having fun. Come and see us. Enjoy the food. Enjoy the atmosphere. And this industry can get a little bit too. What's the best way to put it? Exclusive.
Sure.
And
We're the antithesis of that. We're inclusive. So, we got a write up, and this is where, not to backtrack, I don't want to dog any sort of like print ad or whatever. I was featured in Salinas, California, in a really eloquently, written story, and I'm sitting at my dentist, and he read it. So there's value there, that I'm missing.
Yep.
But I think it sits somewhere on there. Max Fit, spreads across Monterey County. Chris Spencer made it for a place for bodybuilders and your grandma, because that's what I said, and that's inclusive.
Yep.
But this is an opportunity now, not to be full on, but to have some humor, jab, right hook, right? I'm sure you're familiar with that. If anyone listening, it's not. It's a Gary V book. It's you just want to provide free value, and or invite people into your home, because everyone's home is different, right? But we are not your average store, and I can promise you that. And what better opportunity do we have in this day and age to invite you in? And that's why I invest heavily into, you and I and the screen all know how much work it is.
Yeah.
Some days I don't want to post, dude. I don't. I do it.
Yep.
It's part of my brushing my teeth. You know how it goes, right?
I think it should be like part of brushing your teeth, and for myself on a personal level, sometimes it's like, oh man, come on, did we get through those 10 accounts today that we had, you know what I mean? And then it's become a job to where for us where it's you should, but there's no excuse. We really still got to keep putting our
video.
Yeah. Let's go back to
Wildfire, man.
Whoa, but we laughed our what?
Yeah, we had so much fun doing it.
I laugh when I seen it because I've seen a variation of that.
The original of
Yeah, the original. Yeah, the
I've seen
original.
and when I seen this, I was like, "That's great." That's
so
anybody that's listening, make sure you go to Max Fit Meals on Facebook page on the left hand side. Quick infos and ads, and you'll be able to find their ad that they've shared really quickly right there.
We're doing another one here coming up for just to tease it, I guess, is for AT&T coming up. The Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We're not going to really talk about it because it's something that we're still game planning. We're still storyboarding, but it is going to be funny. It is going to be good. It's going to be a good one.
The default is to be, I could show you my early stuff.
No, yeah.
Super.
I mean, you look like you feel comfortable in front of the camera now.
I'm comfortable now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been.
Yeah. I'm never a guy usually in front of the camera. I'm pretty. I'm a filmer. I'm a videographer.
He needed somebody. He needed somebody that was able to put him on the path of focus. Right. I mean.
Right. Well, it becomes easier, but that's the overwhelming absurdity of life, right? Like I could go to any business and just put a camera in their face. Like you just freeze.
Yep, you do.
You do. I don't care how cool you are.
They practice their lines.
You might not be as cool as me.
all night long. You see 3, 2, 1. You ready to go? Oh yeah, I'm ready to go. Look at my script.
Out.
You say 3, 2, 1, and.
Well, I went to the Blue Zone with my wife, and the guy brings, hey, we need somebody. Oh, put me in front. I'm there.
Yeah.
Now, that's great. Now, let's do this.
Because
health is wealth. But before that, no. Let me drink a bottle of wine and get the liquid courage.
This last year, we just ambush you every day. I mean, almost every day we were videotaping something.
Like it's the same narrative. Like Andy Frisell, whoever Ed Milet. There's a million really great people, and I think they're all a version of Good to Great, but just more entertaining, right? But if you want to be successful, I'm talking to anybody locally or beyond who's listening to this awesome podcast, right? If you want to be good at something, do something you're freaking scared of doing, right? Definitely. I don't like being freaking videoed all the time. Like, you have those days where you're thinking about your sales taxes are due, or insurance payment, or workman's comp.
Yep.
Brian's here. You got to do this.
Yeah.
That's when some of the greatest that came out. We're like, man, I can't do this anymore. I can't do the sale thing. We're coming out of Black Friday, all the necessities of all that. Let's do something fun. And when you start doing something fun and making it entertaining, and you do it repetitively, then you start getting better at it. And I am living proof that if you can be somewhat decent at something, I'm the guy. If I can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? So you just have to get out there. Getting out there, and Andy Frisell, this is straight out of his freaking mouth. It's you got to be laughed at, because I'm sure there's a million people. This freaking doofus again, I'm tired of him. Like
I let my son listen to an Andy podcast, and then he's like, I want to hear more, Dad.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck this, fuck that. Yeah. Fuck, you need to fucking wake up in the morning, 4:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And my son was like, let's listen to more, Dad. Like, this guy's pretty.
You know what? No, like if my kids draw, I don't even care. I couldn't even do any of that when I was a kid.
He was like the guy that we needed.
Get your fucking ass in gear.
Yeah, it really is.
Let people make fun of you. Fuck them.
Yep.
It really is hard.
Yeah.
Like, because I delete stuff here and there, block, delete, like Andy. Because some people, this freaking, they'll really tear you out, and then you have to get thick skin.
Yep.
How do you get thick skin? You have to train it, right?
Right.
And that's by the first jabs hurt the most, right? Someone punches you in the face, like how?
We put out a pilot. We put out a pilot show to this. Share it with family. I got punched in the face, and then that one never went out. But actually, to be honest, I'm not.
That's how they win.
Yeah, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to release it. To be honest, I think it's good. And I mean, everything you're kind of saying is though we're 5 shows deep into this show, and it's nerve wracking.
Well, the people that are closest to you are going to be the ones that are going to be the most critical. They're going to hold you down the most, right? And that's and if you listen to these guys, that's what they say. And I think now it's at the point where it's not about like we're not talking when he says like block and delete, right? What he's saying is we're not afraid of the haters.
Right. No,
they're there. We know that they're what we don't need in our lives is the nonsense. You don't need to bring absolute 100% hate onto us or negativity. Go away. Get the fuck out of here.
I get it.
Yep.
Live your life. I'm not gonna try to convince you that I don't suck. Right?
Yep.
See ya.
Yep.
Right.
Adios. You're not getting in my head. You don't need to be there then. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, you're on my page, and I probably don't even ever go to yours.
We like it. I got too many other things to worry about, right?
Amen.
We got a couple of some facts here that we're just going to share really quickly that have to do with video marketing. These are just, and you can weigh in on it and let me know if it's feeling true. Users spend about 88% more time on again, this says website, but just in general, social media and on website, maybe a post, than they would your traditional.
Okay, so this you have a couple different layers here. Number one, yes, on a website, 80% more time. When you're looking at bounce rates, your typical bounce rate on a website, and if you don't know what a bounce rate is, it's if you go to the page and you actually go backwards, right? Is 50% or above. Anything below 50% is actually really good.
40% right. is like amazing.
So if you're talking about 80% more of at 50%, right? You're talking about people bouncing off your page at 20%, which means they're spending more time on your page, more pages, more views, more. That means that your Facebook pixels collecting more data, watching these people go through your funnel. That means that you're able to create better audiences. You're able to target the right audiences. You're able to retarget these people at a better level. We're using video strictly for one purpose. We don't really want to sell anything with video. We want to educate. And we want to get people to watch the video for a specific period of time where we feel like they've given us enough engagement where we can put them in the next piece. Education in the supplement industry, there's so much noise out there that if you're just throwing things at people, they're not going to pay attention anymore. They're going to scroll through. Facebook, because of their 3-second rule on views, we really look at stuff that's 15, 20 seconds or more.
Do you usually set your targeting for over 10 seconds to count?
We actually use through views, 15 seconds or more.
15 seconds.
I look at percentage watched and I look at retention. So how far do they go before we get the drop off?
Right.
Okay, it's 5 seconds. That's good. That means that our targeting's right. That means our optimization's right. And then how many people get to the end? Now, there's different theories on how you end a video, but if you're at the last 2 or 3 seconds, you have an outro to the video, then you don't count that. You say 95%, right? But if there's and it's a drop off, go to 100% and find out what that number is. And we have like some actually really, really great results with those, just optimizing as video views through view to the right target audience. The key isn't how you optimize. Optimization with Facebook now, with the amount of data it has and the way that it works, optimization is going to take over eventually. You might spend more money doing conversion optimization versus traffic optimization versus that's all going to change the way you spend the money, but it doesn't matter if you don't know who you're sending it to. If you're not presenting that to the right people at the right time, you're going to spend more money than anything else. And so what we've done is we're blessed with data. People have gone to the website, people watch the videos. Video is the best way to get real data. Website traffic is becoming it's not that it's not important, it's becoming less of a good data point. Video views. 2019, if you're not doing video, if you're not working with somebody like Mag1, you're not doing it yourself, you're not figuring it out like we've done, by the end of 2019, you're going to be paying so much money for a video company to come get you caught up that you're going to wish you just would have picked up the phone, you would have go bought a cheap camera, figured it out. Because engagement on video, not just 80%, but it's way past that. It's way deeper than that 80%. I mean, you have more facts. I know you do.
We have video generates 1,200% more shares than both images and text on Facebook. I think this is
100%. Yeah, 100%. More people they want to consume data in a way that is passive yet active, and you just can't put enough information in a picture anymore. It's just not possible. No. It's a 1080 by 1080 image.
And you start getting penalized if you have.
There's if you're gonna start doing paid ads, and then you really have to be good at like knowing what to put in the ad, not just copy that, but also how to present the ad to people. It's different than it was 2 years ago.
But besides that, I mean, how else can you? What better way can you portray who you really are? I can use a filter and right angle, but the best way to video doesn't necessarily lie. It shows your mannerisms, shows your passion. I need to get closer. Shows your passion. All the above that I had success with. Like if you're a good communicator and you're able to build rapport with the customer and build a bond with somebody. And if you can learn by repetition to portray that on your video ad, there's no way a a picture can take you that deep, and
you're competing, and I'm gonna give all the credit to Billy Jean from Billy Jean is Marketing. He's a great guy, right? That's where I started. That's where my journey on like how to figure out Facebook ads started. He said the other day, in a private class video, he said, "You're competing with butt cheeks and ripped abs and funny memes." On a constant basis. What is going to make somebody stop and look at what your business is providing, what your business is doing? And if you just think you're going to be able to sell stuff these days, and even if you're starting to get into video, it's still stock images. It's and they're terrible. The engagement's terrible, and you're not real. People are going to. They're going to know you're fake right away. Yeah, they're going to know you're fake right away.
I think I have some, but those are some of the earliest videos we produced.
Yeah, those are old.
Via.
These
on the Instagram, on the
Yeah.
Instagram page.
Those are some of the earliest videos that I put out. Like this one here is good. It mentions Gary to the left here.
I think I pushed mute on it. Here we go.
But storytelling. What does this have to do with supplements? It doesn't.
Your drive is not predicated.
It's got the good to great in there from Jim Collins.
I was fortunate to find, two people that have really drastically changed, how I view things. And
I might have to talk over it when the music's playing. Otherwise, they're gonna
gonna
cancel our show.
I think we own the music.
Do you? Okay.
Oh yeah. So you have full credit to music.
And subsequently bought the audiobook and listened to it for 6 months straight while I was doing cardio every morning. And it was a fundamental flip in how I approached business and how I approached my life personally and professionally. And then the second person who I discovered was Gary V, or Gary Vaynerchuk. And now it's how I start my morning. I have Gary V and coffee every morning. I throw on my headphones. I now listen to Gary V clips on YouTube.
I've been into Gary V since he's been the
wine.com.
I mean, this is probably 2.5 years old. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not doing Gary V and coffee like I was, but it's ingrained, and it just like anything else. There's opportunity to switch up and find people like Gary. A lot of these people are all friends and working together. Which is the beauty of it all.
Ed Milet.
Ed Milet, but
Andy
I default to Andy Frisella. He's sleeping in the back. I mean, we could talk all day about like struggle. I mean, the guy got stabbed in the face. I was like, I talked a little bit about it. I have ulcerative colitis, man. I was running like for years. I had 20 trips to the restroom, dude. You could have come into my store. I had 0 employees, running the shop myself. And I could have been, you know what, dude, can you step outside? I got to lock the door. Like, why? Just give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And freaking half the time they're gone. Like, that's bad business.
They were off to the vitamin shop.
Right, yeah. Talking to this guy, and he fucking pushes me outside. And he's running like beeline to the restroom, But I saw the cross I had to bear. It's not getting stabbed in the face, but it's freaking ruining my business. And I kept trudging along. And it's a privilege to suffer, right? It's a privilege to go without. It's a privilege to not have money. It's a privilege to wear the same freaking shoes for 3 years. It's a privilege to, go through those hard times, because the underlying narrative to you, me, anybody that's successful is they just don't quit. They figure out an opportunity. So now, as we've all, I think pretty much everyone in this room is scaled up, we had to figure out how to get through tough times in the hard times. And tough times will come. Economies will come and go. It's guaranteed, like death and taxes, right? But that ability to figure things out, the ability to scale back and forth, to make tough decisions, to find a way when there is no way, to climb, one of my, I don't talk about, like, there's a shoot, I can't remember the name of the book, but it's a guy gets, pancreatic cancer, and it's full of like, why the brick walls in your life? It's to show how bad you want it, because you got to break them down. How do you freaking break down a brick wall? You figure it out.
One brick at a time.
It might give you a spoon, and it might take you 5 years. Do you just chuck it and bounce, or do you just freaking get to work? And anyone in this room has put in the work, dude. And it was hard, and it paid a price. And I lost relationships because, like, you work too much, or this and that. And you know what? All right. I'm not going to stop.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's how it's going to be. And, then, you know, that's how it's going to be. And then someone like, I think, not to bring up personally, but someone like me who gets it. My wife gets it. I think you shared something. I'm not trying to bring up your personal life, but my wife gets it.
Yeah. No,
so she supported me.
You
recording this, man? Yeah. But she supported me.
Yeah, I hear you.
No questions asked. It wasn't like you're a loser, you know.
Yep.
Look at you,
she
man.
just didn't say it to your face.
Through ups and downs and hardships and all, you're riding together. And
so
that's,
I mean,
that's
now that
good.
things are good, I'm loyal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I would never go anywhere else, because like that's not what life's about. It's like the relationships of the people that were there. Just like the people, like there's times I had no freaking protein powder. No, I had a store. I'm standing there. I got freaking protein powder. A customer comes in, you know, you got any protein powder? Yeah. No, but tomorrow I will. You know. Can you prepay and I'll have it here for you, boss?
Yeah, I got you.
Sure, no problem. There's still people that shop at my store that freaking prepaid me.
The struggle is real.
Yes, but then how better of a salesman am I now that I had to fucking
You're good.
prepay, pre-sell,
right?
Take your money and I'll give you 20% off if you buy it today.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that would even work anymore because this Amazon didn't exist. You know, but there were people that liked and trusted me because of the relationship we built.
You guys have gotten to the point where you actually have your own product, right? Your own product lines.
I have 2 different product lines.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's incredible. That's awesome.
You know, I have pallets and pallets of protein powder.
Tell everybody, you know, what you have there and where to find it.
Okay, so I own Forbidden Labs, which is our hardcore, kind of harder hitting, edgier, you know, marketing aspects. Forbidden Labs, the theme of the brand is the supplements they didn't want you to know about. Meaning like something you can't know about, you want to know about, right? So that is more, you know, bodybuilding, gym based. Again, it's for everybody, but you know, it does have a harder edge. And there's Barney's Blend. So Forbidden Labs is forbiddenlabs.com with the labs is with the Z, forbiddenlabs.com. And there's Barney's Blend, which is a company I started to honor my grandfather, who is his image is on.
Yeah, that's cool.
Follow us on Instagram at Forbidden Labs
at Forbidden Labs with
Barney's
Z.
Blend with a Z.
Blend.
Yeah, with a Z.
Facebook. So it's 2 different ones there.
Forbidden Labs is the one company, and then we have at Barney's Blend. We got 2 different Instagram pages. Facebook as well.
You know, Barney's Blend is you know, it's softer, you know, labels, BCAAs, vitamin packs with green formula, and it's something I could foresee in the future. You know, just open, you know, bigger box stores. Whereas the goal with Forbidden Labs is direct to consumer. We're in like 10 stores. That's nice.
We do a lot of our business is through e-commerce.
But that can go back to like control your own destiny.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna because like the store model is dying. There's some rock stars like me who do it well, but it's dying, right? You know. However, so what do we do? Do I sit there and like, oh man, like, do I go and like keep pitching to people that are going out of business? Or do I
improvise?
Yeah, we
start doing videos.
It was this
target marketing.
So
all the stuff we learned here makes it so much of an easier transition. Some of the best success we had, and it burned Brian out, where like, he was like pulling his hair out, man. He was like ambassador. Yeah, he had a pompadour when he started.
You're finding that retargeting on Facebook is working really effective through using a video ad, dropping a video ad.
It depends on where your base is. So yes, Facebook ads are still very undervalued. They're still the best place to be. If you're gonna choose one platform, choose Facebook. However, Instagram is still where you want to be, and Facebook owns Instagram, so you can do both at the same time. Yeah. We actually don't. We use automatic targeting unless it's for a very specific reason, for a very specific campaign, and so I let Facebook's algorithms decide who gets to see what at what point. Now we do have different levels. We have the intro video views. You watch a certain percentage of it. You go to the next video. Once you watch a certain percentage of that, we know that you're in the family. And then you start getting more of the salesy stuff, like discount codes or whatever else we feel like you need. And then always we have a retargeting based off of add to cart, and then we have retargeting we just started implementing just for purchasers, and they get more of like first dibs on like any type of promotions we're doing.
Nice.
Or cross sales. Cool. So it's very deep and dynamic. That's e-commerce.
Yeah.
Then we have local business, which is mainly like providing value, letting you know what we do. Occasionally we'll run a sale, and that goes to the people we already know, like us, know us and trust us, and then we move from there.
And they're not synergistic, right? Like there is a person we work with in Southern California that handles a majority of the Instagram posts, and he comes from Anwar. If you're watching Anwar, he comes from he's younger demographic. Comes from a clothing company, a fitness company that the big booths.
A lot of image.
Built.
It's a lot about image, man.
Right,
and that's just not who we're about anymore.
I couldn't even, I don't have the image. Anyone wants to, but
well, we love the business.
So here's the thing,
that's
though.
The difference.
It's okay. So it's not me anymore, right? So they're not. It's very polished. I don't believe on a local level. I want to portray that, but you need to find that younger. So being aware of what your audience is, right, is one of the first things, right? And on a local level, what's our audience?
Depends.
Bodybuilders and grandmas. Right. So we can target.
And it's Salinas and Monterey. Like let's talk about the dynamic of our community.
Right?
Like that is so deep that people don't really understand. He worked in Salinas. I've lived in Salinas my whole life, but I spent a large portion of my career in the supplement industry in Monterey, and we're growing in Monterey. Like if you haven't been to the Monterey store, if you're coming from out of town and you're going to be in Monterey, California, if you don't go see the Max Fit Monterey store, you're missing out. 100%. Chris has done what he does as far as visual goes is so unique that if you've ever been to any supplement store, it is the complete opposite of any supplement store you've ever been to. And Salinas as well. Yeah. Salinas is closer to what your traditional supplement store would look like, but Monterey is like this completely different atmosphere. It's got a place in the...
Is it more of a restaurant kind of style?
Not at all. No? So akin to my amazing wife, like she'll bring these books. I got Good to Great from her personal collection that her chief nurse executive gave her as a must read. So I was just kind of like stealing her books, and one of them was How to Make a Hospital Like Disneyland, right? So it's just like the premium customer service, and I think we're close to the mark on that. And I think you and I've talked, and as we scale up, it's hard to. I can't just be that person, and building the infrastructure with Brian and now Tyler. Checklists and training and all that kind of stuff that we can maintain that, as we continue to grow and market and bring more heads in, we need to keep that Disneyland, type branding and type experience. So for me, I have my own passions outside of this. I love old vintage stuff. I have a long history of family in California, early 1800s. So I wanted to bring some of that stuff and create like a speakeasy. Yeah. I got some questionable ancestors as well, from Chicago, Prohibition era days, So, I like that vibe. So why do what everyone else does? I'm just not into that. No. So like, who is the first guy to put diamond plate in a supplement store? Like, you're not in the business, but every store has diamond plate now. So for me, it's like, I have you been in there? It's got a speakeasy in the back. It's as simple as that. Like, I don't want to be what everyone else is doing, right? I want to stand out and impart, I have Barney, a huge thing of Barney, because Barney was inspirational in my life, and this is an extension of me, right? I have my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, of my grandfather there, and it just creates this like history of my family, which they were all business owners, they were all entrepreneurs, they're immigrants, a lot of them that came here from nothing, that did very well. And I think I never met them. Obviously, they've been dead way before. It's a way for me to honor my family. It's a way to honor the customers and tell my story and impart like an impression on you of something that's completely different than what everyone else is doing. Do I know it's going to work when I do it? No. But there's something inside of me, a confidence, it's a story that I want to tell you, like I'm telling you now. Why the heck did you put that there? If you're asking me something like that, we're on the right track. Now, that all can be spun and that should all be told. So if you're a new person in social media and you're looking into, calling Mag One or just doing your own thing, whatever, do it your way.
Yeah.
Don't be like me.
Mm-hmm.
You can cross over. Like I like to think in those early videos, a cheap imitation of Gary Vee.
Yeah.
But by me trying to emulate him, I'm not him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, if you see me doing something, you could do it. But do it in your way.
But 99.9% of Salinas doesn't know who Gary Vee, is,
don't.
Right.
and
Right.
so you've created your own. You're your own
yeah,
person. You're
sure.
Chris.
I am Chris, yeah.
You're Chris, and you're. Only me and maybe Javon may know that
Right,
that get the vibe. But you might have pitched his name in that video, but they don't know that. You know what I mean?
It was something like it was something like all it is was a springboard.
Mhm.
Like I love Gary Vee. I don't
Yeah.
haven't watched a clip in a year. But it's something we all need
I like what you said. It's a springboard. Yeah.
It's a springboard, but you all try to be a good person, but sometimes we need the 10 Commandments or the golden rule on our to default.
Yeah.
So I use that stuff on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I just want to put on my lift or whatever. I'm on the cardio. Okay, I'll have compassion and empathy more. And then all of a sudden my day's changed. I got way more empathy. So it's all what we choose to put in our head. I could put on the news, and that's kind of why I don't do a lot of news marketing, because every time I'm not calling anyone out locally or anywhere. It's just they make money off of pushing negativity. I don't want to be associated with all the negative junk that goes out there. I'm going to keep my side of the road clean, something Barney used to say. Just don't worry about it. Keep your side of the road clean and create your own little bubble. So what Chris has done, because I'm not even from Salinas, so I imparted my little experiences in the world into my stores without there's no guarantee anyone's going to enjoy it, they're going to like it, or anything of that nature. So, but thank goodness they do. And I think hopefully at the end of the day, it changes somebody and it motivates somebody, because I've been motivated heavily and am continually motivated by other people. And that's that loose connection that we have. Yeah. And that's the beauty of being alive today, where I can feed off of these people without never meeting them. Yep. And hopefully, maybe, I don't know, people are feeding off me.
Definitely.
I've signed autographs before, which is crazy. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, but
Who thinks of some of your video content, or is that you working out, powerlifting, doing what you do, and then all of a sudden you're like, I got a vision.
Well,
I'm gonna go. I heard something on a podcast. I'm gonna go turn on the camera.
Man.
Is that you? Yeah. Nice.
I would say like 90. I mean, it's me understanding what his business needs. It's me understanding his frame of mind. And then we get together. Yeah. And we get together and we just kind of throw stuff at the board and see what sticks.
But it's also, you have to think the why.
Yeah.
What people's fears are. What's your fear of coming to my source? We have all these like bullet points of why, like, and then Brian will think it's something cool or whatever, but it, like, there's challenges. What's a challenge that I have to bring you into my store? Is it a inclusive place for guys that are power lifters and have veins coming out of it, every muscle? And no, that's not is it hard to go there? Is it tough to park? Is it, are they gonna judge me? Is it expensive? All that kind of stuff that, so when which is a constant challenge, where like sometimes we're just like hitting a brick wall. We don't let, as you heard earlier, we don't let brick walls stop us, right? So, sometimes we'll freaking sit there. He'll have an idea,
and you can't execute on everything, and you can't always like make it happen. Like it's, we went from like, we used to get like haters over like cell phone video, right? Now everybody's saying go back to cell phone video. It's organic. It's organic, right?
Do it.
Like if you're trying to sell somebody something and you're doing like super polished, video, and it doesn't match who you are, people know that. They want to see organic. And then we've polished it up because we've understood that the need was we're now at the forefront. And if we're not pushing the best thing we possibly can, everything we do is already the best. We have to do everything else the best. We're going to lose. People are going to pass us up, and we're not about that. We're about winning pretty much all the time.
I like to let my clients know that, and we really do share that. Again, if you're looking for a high-end video, something very polished, hire us.
Right. Sure.
turn on your cell phone and do it yourself.
Right.
You know,
100%.
do it yourself. What did I say? You want to make a podcast? You have the power right here.
Yeah.
You know, you want to make a badass video to put on your IG. Sure. Do it yourself right here. You spent $1,000 on an iPhone X. Why not?
I don't think
like
people have enough money to pay anybody to do everything that they need to do to be successful. So if you're running ads for people, you're targeting ads. You know, there is going to be some responsibility to the business owner or what organization to create daily organic content on their own, and then you guys can fill up the gaps that they can't handle.
Absolutely,
so that I think is like
that's the important part. You hit the nail on the head.
But
it's
people don't want to do
anything.
anything.
It's a daily process, and it's a lot of it's fear, a lot of it's being scared of and embarrassed. What's some other?
Oh yeah, no.
say?
So that's the thing, right? Like we talk a lot about Andy, and I kind of listened to the dude. Like I got back into it, but fear is what's holding a lot of people back. You're afraid to look stupid. You're afraid that people are going to make fun of your podcast because your parents don't like it or whatever. You're afraid that you're going to look stupid to the world. Everybody's afraid, like they're going to look dumb. Like that's what your biggest fear is. You might be afraid of spiders or whatever, but that's not what people are. A reason why they're not willing to jump in. Once you go all in, that fear's gone. You don't have it. Don't get me wrong. Every day I go to run a campaign, I look at it and I go, I don't think this is going to work.
No, we're now going from. I think I get a little bit of a pass because people know me around here.
Yeah.
Right, but once we've gone into the for Forbidden Labs with the Z,
It's funny that
I was getting
we were getting
we're
hate.
doing some cool stuff like
you go to the video. You can go. We're running it now if you want to go.
Let's check it out.
Forbidden Labs.
I mean, we're trying not to do this.
The athlete that was just here.
Should I put in
Forbidden Labs?
Yeah, and you can see Anwar Salazar's style of. Like I've given Anwar creative license.
Yeah, there he is, top one, the top one right there. You might actually to see it, you might have to go to Facebook. But this is the IG.
So this is Anwar's work. It's a lot more polished.
It's darker,
darker theme. It's a darker theme brand.
Muscles.
Yeah, muscles,
girls,
muscles and girls,
hot chicks and ripped abs.
Yep.
I mean. It's the industry.
This is so far. Just scrolling through here. Look at this.
So that one right there, we ran a giveaway on that left. That one right there. So all Anwar's idea here: 12 months, 12 bottles of our pre-workout, and then those pairs of shoes right there. There's custom shoes.
Even those custom shoes, right? Like you go to Nike and
you can buy them yourself.
You buy them. I think I've got 2 comments. You guys are idiots. You can make those. The point is, hey, no shit, Sherlock. I wasn't trying to say Nike contacted me and doing a brand. I mean, doing.
Well, we paid for them.
I'm buying you $100 and some worth of shoes that you can have if you join for free.
Yeah.
So, but some jackball wanted to.
Yeah, ran on the parade.
Hater. Like
the
moment
page,
in my life.
The one he's talking about. Yeah. I mean, we got a little bit of hate on stuff
but
like that.
That is the kind of stuff. Do I close my account? Do I turn my tail?
Same thing. Forbidden Labs.
But that's the kind of stuff that you just have to get used to, and do you get into a dialogue with this guy and try to explain your actions?
No, it's probably not going to pop up SEO wise for Facebook. That's the other thing. Like, okay, so while he's doing this, if you're doing videos and you're not adding true captions to your videos when you're uploading these things, if you're doing video posts and you're not going in and changing the captions somehow and you're letting it auto caption, you're losing a lot of SEO value in your videos. So I always take the videos. That's a shoot that we did out in Fort Ord. So we went the whole like Guy Fawkes mask. Everybody out there knows it as anonymous. There you go, right there.
Yep.
Oh, I saw this one.
My targeting's on point then.
Yeah, hit you.
So this one is actually kind of. Is that? Look, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm shooting this stuff on a.
I disagree. It looks like you really know what you're doing.
I mean, I have a nice camera, and I figured out Final Cut Pro on my own.
Nice.
Like
awesome.
The beginning is. I think did I talk to you about this? First they laugh at you, or
yeah.
I should have.
We got a lot of that. First they laugh at you, then they what is it?
I don't know. I'm looking.
First they hate you, then they laugh at you, and then they want to work for you.
Right.
Like that's where we're at now.
I'm bad at acronyms.
Yeah, it's all good.
Somebody Google it quickly.
I'm bad at remembering names.
The decision was to start doing something different.
No, but you throw out there why do the whole. Again, this is I don't really. It's becoming more empowering not to care. I don't do things. Maybe it's because I'm getting a little bit older. I'm not doing things for you to like me anymore. This is like we had a great time shooting some stuff. Whatever skill set, I was over there with my phone. I was having fun, and if I can have fun after working my tail off, because you guys, I'm probably putting 60 plus a week. If I can, sometimes the sun shines on you and having a little fun and creating something that I, Brian, or anyone connecting with us had in our head, and then I have the money to buy ads with it. If you freaking like it or not, I don't care anymore, right?
First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Yeah,
I'm gonna freaking win. Yeah. So eat your
probably
Wheaties.
Knew that. You should have told us.
He's sitting there holding that valuable.
Come on,
trying to make us look dumb.
Value.
Javon's a frequent shopper in your guys'
I
store
recognize
here,
the face, yeah.
and I think he's always the meals, right?
Yeah,
The meals.
I always get the lean turkey burger.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are.
So this is actually like we didn't really talk about it, but this has actually turned into like a business for me. Like this is something that I fell in love with and didn't understand. Like I was doing it because I saw a need for it, and then I fell in love with it. And now this is something I do for other people. I love doing it for Chris. The Forbidden Lab stuff I do on my own time, like that. I do that because I see the value in the business. I know where it's going. I've been in the industry long enough. But when you do this like I do, where you're like literally, like I'm a freak about it. I'm clicking every 2 seconds to see if we got more sales, like to see what the data is, if the data is changing. That's the things that you don't see people doing behind the scenes in these ads, is that how much dedication it takes to do this stuff. You can't just throw it out there anymore.
How long does it take you to make a 2-minute video?
Just a video?
From concept maybe to posting it.
If I don't screw something up, I mean, I screw everything up, right? I shot actually on that page. There's a 3-minute, more of an educational video on our Forbidden Labs Chaos Unleashed, #Chaos Unleashed, and that one probably took me 2 weeks to finish.
Gotcha.
You know, and that's setting up the green screen and sitting at the thing, and I forgot to pitch this. I forgot to put this part in there. Going back and reshooting, and then editing it down from 15 minutes to 2 minutes.
Forgetting to turn on your mic.
Yeah, I've done that before. Yeah, I mean, you learn these things when you don't know. You have to learn them, right? And then typing up the captions, putting together the actual campaign. The hardest part about all of it is probably the targeting. Like start to finish, it takes me about 6 to 8 hours to do targeting research on a specific product or customer niche. Now that we have a lot of data, it's a lot easier. But to do a campaign on a 2-minute video, I mean, it takes a couple weeks, man. It's not an easy task.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I don't want
not anymore.
I don't want to bogart your show or anything like that. But I don't. Tyler, is there any questions or anything?
Go ahead.
There's probably like 2 people watching.
Is my mom there? Hi, Mom. She usually doesn't watch.
My job calling.
That's
She
the live.
usually doesn't watch. I'll be surprised.
You know what's interesting is that we're actually planning to launch this show to be a live podcast on YouTube. You know, so
this will be the best one of all your shows.
100%.
So we should have just done it live now. We've got the power to do it there. We just haven't pulled that trigger yet. You know,
go big, go
just
Rogan.
Do it.
That's what Rogan does.
Just
and
do
it
it.
Works, man.
Yeah, why not?
So anybody watching our Facebook Live, you're certainly willing to ask questions.
Instagram Live.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Mag One is here. All their incredibly knowledgeable crew. So moving forward, let's go.
Yeah, no, so just, I'm going to kind of just ask a few more questions, trying to get to, we're right at that 1 hour mark. We'll try to wrap this one up here really quickly. But one of the things, and I asked you that 2-minute video, how long does it take? You said a 3-minute video is taking you up to 2 weeks. Have you guys found that a client might come in here and say, we need a 30-second. I said, no, you don't. You need a 2-minute. And then where they say, oh, we see people doing 10 minute. 10 minutes may be very successful for those vlogs. I point over at Hector because he's doing vlogs. That 5 to 10 minute is kind of the target time that YouTube likes for that. that might not be the case on Facebook. Then, of course, that's not the case on Instagram. You know what I mean? So what have you guys found that it's been effective for you guys and time-wise?
So personally, time-wise, if you're doing an ad, you want to keep it 15 to 45 seconds. One reason is people don't care. Second reason, you can cut it up. You can put it on Instagram stories. You can run it as a story ad. You can run it to they changed it. Actually, just changed it to 60 seconds. And then 120 seconds on an actual paid ad for video on Instagram. They just changed that too. So we're seeing like ad-wise, we want to sell you something, 30 seconds. I try to keep him under 20 seconds. Like that's why a lot of the stuff you see as cadence has gotten better. Is because I'm like, the data showing we gotta be within that 15-second range. Thank you, Snapchat. Thank you, Stories, for ruining everybody's attention spans. But we play with it. We have to. We have to. Facebook, the data just came out for 2018. 3 minutes and 20 seconds is the average video watch time.
Get 4 minutes, around 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes.
For educational purposes, typically, if you're trying to sell something to somebody and you're trying to pitch them to get their attention and get them to go to your page, you want to keep it really short. Then you want to retarget them with a longer format video. And if you push them to a webinar or you're doing something else with it, they're going to get there. But yeah, 3 minutes. I know YouTube's transitioning to watch time. The longer you watch something, the more people are going to see your stuff at the top of the list. So everybody's going all in on video. Instagram, I just started working with it now. Everybody knows 10,000 followers or above, you can, maybe not everybody knows this, but if you have more than 10,000 followers, and this is why a lot of people have fake followers, you can swipe up and send them to a webpage. They just launched the ability, hot news if you guys don't know this, where you can actually swipe up on a personal page or a business page that has less than 10,000 followers and send somebody to your IG video. So you can do
from Facebook,
from Instagram. Swipe up. IG, if you have a longer format video on IGTV, you can send them to IGTV. So you can take your 2 hour or hour and a half podcast, cut it into 5-minute snippets, and then you can drive people to you're going to see IGTV is going to be the next paid platform. Facebook Stories isn't taking off the way that they want, but Zuckerberg just said Stories, that's where a lot of this is going. And then you're going to see like 10-minute, Facebook and Instagram are going to go all in on like 10-minute clips. That's going to be the ability to do that. So we're testing it right now. We're seeing how it works with the long format stuff because I'm actually just tired of like posting 45, 15-second clips on Instagram. And so I think that's kind of why they did that, to get people out of that over and over and over and over and over story mode, and push them to long format content. So that's new. We're going to be testing that, and we throw stuff at the wall with everything we have at full force with all the money we can possibly spend.
See what sticks, and then constantly auditing.
Your guys' stories are nonstop. They're on point.
We went all in on stories last year when it first dropped. I mean, we saw the necessary need for it. I mean,
it's stories for me. I mean, we consistently break 1,000 views plus 15 sometimes. So that's a lot of attention. And the good thing about our following is we never really heavily got into buying followers just to get a swipe up. We actually
those were all organic,
man. So a good majority of them are local. So if you can get 1,000, 1,500, 1,200 people to, key in and, and it doesn't really fall off much, as the stories progress, on a consistent basis, that's attention, and attention is money, and attention is success. If you have people's attention, you're doing something right. And that's the meaning of marketing in general, and hitting every angle, the stories, and buying in early on stuff is really the answer. One of my employees who was 5 years, I forget how long ago it was now. I mean, it was get on Instagram, it's the future, and I did. So buying in early, and I think that's kind of the narrative for us. And it's going to continue to be the narrative for MaxFit as long as I'm, at the helm, is buying in and not being afraid.
Early adopters. Don't be afraid to jump in. That's the thing.
And it feels good to be here, because if I didn't invest heavy and buy in early, we wouldn't be here now, and I wouldn't be busting at the seams. So buying in early in the technology and buying in early on attention is how you really kill it, you know. And I will, that is cemented in my brain, and what motivates me to get up and have some coffee and put a story. And,
I thought you just stopped doing the coffee though.
Gary V and coffee. Sorry, Gary.
The combination.
I stop coffee, I'm dead. So, you know.
I mean, we're constantly talking about what to do next.
Well, but even back when I was trying to communicate earlier, it's like, it's fun. That's what we were talking about. Was it last night? I forget. We talked every night.
Last night, yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Who wants to do the same thing repetitively, box here, box there?
Yeah.
I have to be ahead of the game. I think it's going to keep us alive longer. Not all the coffee, but it's probably. Tyler always says you get 1 billion heartbeats, but you know, I think I'll get 1.5 billion because you can't stop somebody that wants to always educate their mind. Like I have my grandfather Barney lived a long time. He kept using his brain. He was playing bridge and socializing. You know, keeps me young. You know, like I know stuff I shouldn't know. You know, because I'm on social media. Marketing is how I make a lot of, you know, our attention is there. So, you know, who wants to become an old stodgy person? It's going to keep you on your toes. You're going to have to bend. And
everybody loves that grandma that's like the grandma from Wedding Crashers. It's just crazy, but like it just keeps going. Like that's going to be, that's what he's talking about. Yeah.
What's the alternative, right? So
what I love, what I'm hearing from you is, I mean, not just your business. This is any business going to implement what you guys are doing. I mean, anybody listening right now can just really tune to your page. You know, go to your IG page, and they can be
at Shop Max Fit.
There you go. They could be an antique store, or they could be
anything can be made exciting. Real estate could be made exciting. I've had, and believe it or not, I got a lot of people that come to me all the time and ask me, how do I do what you're doing? So if let's talk about being a real estate agent. I've kind of like just gave like a brief thought about it, but making it exciting, because I don't know, I don't want to see listings over and over again, right? But it's providing that pre-sale, right? So becoming the expert in your field. So like if you're looking for a fresh meal or a healthy fresh meal or a smoothie or anything else that I sell, I want my mug to be the first thing that pops into your brain, right? So because you might not be ready 2 months, 6 months, a year from now, but eventually you might get a light bulb in your head and you want to change your life for the better and start shopping at Max Fit, right? So if I was a real estate agent, I would drive around, explain to, I've told this story about 20 times, and I think I even got part of the idea from Gary, but like, how do you make real estate something that's kind of boring exciting? Well, make yourself the local leader. How do you make yourself the local leader expert? Explaining, hey, catching a football. Hey guys, I'm over here. Alvarez, this is a great school district for this and that. They 1-2.
I want to bring on a real estate agent, somebody who just got into real estate agent. You may know who he is, you might not, but he was a marketer.
Let me guess, for 1,000, Eddie Guajardo.
Yeah. So I asked Eddie to be on this show just so we can talk, because
he's gonna slay it because he's got the marketing background.
But also he's doing great things with video. Like, he sold the house right across the street from my house, and he was just pounding it with the video, and I mean, he was with some other real estate agent.
Yeah,
and
Eddie has been a customer of mine for I think a decade. And,
great guy.
So I've actually
Eddie, if you're listening, you're coming up next. Your show's coming soon.
Right on, go Eddie.
Everybody who's into real estate agents are going to want to listen to that.
I think Eddie, his energy and his passion and commitment. I saw that in terms of like marketing, and I've seen him flip it to the real estate industry, and it's been kind of exciting. He actually is the closest person I think that could kind of be that guy that I was just kind of describing, and and I do watch his stuff. So why do I watch it? If it was boring, I don't care how long you shop with me, Eddie. If it was boring, I wouldn't be watching it. I watch his stuff.
Yeah, so he definitely makes a kitchen look sound amazing.
Right?
On a video, right? But he's doing it himself.
Yes, he's
doing it himself.
A couple people I told early on, like, hey, you want to sell a house? Go in and do Instagram Live when you're doing your open house. Sell it on
Sure.
Facebook. Sell it on Instagram.
Facebook
Crickets.
is Main Street USA.
Nobody did it.
Yeah,
the
nobody.
first person that's going out and doing it, telling a story by trying to sell a house, is the one that's going to win.
Yeah.
And so, I'm not saying I know everything, but it worked for us. Why wouldn't it work for everybody else?
Sure.
We're telling a story. That's what we're doing.
I bought into all that, where I even had a guy like with me. You got to be able to. It's like starting a meal business, man. Like if you're not ready to lose money, and just get punched in the face over and over again, it's just the same as marketing. You got to, but if you're not willing to lose money, you shouldn't be in business, unfortunately. And that's a sad truth.
Yes.
Now, a smart person doesn't continually lose money and go off a cliff. They learn and adapt and use that loss, money loss and monetary loss, and flip it into learning, and then find the way. It's like a college degree, but maybe it wasn't the best thing to have somebody follow me around and this and that, but I tried, and it built our following even more. And a lot of the stuff that we do now is money spent.
Yeah, I think it's a lot. It's more about like understanding that you're going to have to spend money and sometimes write it off as just a dumb decision, and not so much like people get into the scarcity mindset when it comes to money, and you can't in a business. You have to understand that like
Scarcity
really
mindset.
what you need to be concerned about is like, what's the return on this? Like if I'm going to give away a $4 t-shirt but I'm going to get $80 in return on that down the road, I'm going to do that all day long. But if you're going to say, oh man, I'm going to have to get this $4 t-shirt away, and then maybe they'll come back, I don't know.
You just got
go to the gym and see how many t-shirts, how many people are wearing Max Fit stuff.
I signed up to the gym last year, and I've historically never been a gym guy.
Right.
More than 50%, 60% of the out of 10, 6 out of 10 were wearing a shirt. Absolutely. So I mean,
sure.
I
must go in off hours.
No, I'm not even joking.
It's at
when all your employees
point
get off
where
team.
I think a couple of them might have been employees too.
We are at the point where you run at oversaturation, which is another rabbit hole. Of staying relevant, oversaturated. You become like the big Goliath, and I was the David. So
here's a couple of facts, and we'll kind of get to wrapping the show here. But 69% of marketers have made more marketing videos in-house, and we can replace that word marketers, and we can say businesses, small business owners, or entrepreneurs in 2018 than they did in 2017. And that's again the power of doing it yourself, picking up a DSLR, trying to learn Final Cut Pro.
Yeah, it's a 4K camera.
Yeah.
I mean, if iPhone 7 or above, it's a 4K camera. I shoot great quality stuff with this. Yeah. Do I have a 4K camera? Yeah. And it does better. But who cares? It's still getting the job done.
Yeah.
Still getting the job done.
There's no excuses in 2019.
I love that. I said that the other day, right? There's just no excuses. No. Yeah.
I mean, you can waste your time, or you can be what you want to be. It's your choice. Make the right choice. Every time you wake up, your eyes open in the morning. It's a choice, and continue on. I'm gonna choose to shut up and let you ask the next question.
No.
Go ahead. We got to get going.
We can talk for another 2 hours if you want.
Yeah,
we got how much time?
You guys can.
You guys can. I'm out of here. No, we're getting close to wrapping it up here. But one of the questions that I just wanted to ask and make sure I asked it directly is, what have you learned as a business owner navigating through the digital marketing on your own?
You can't stop educating yourself.
No, yeah.
I do spend money on continual education, not just money, time. I spend way more time trying to figure out the next thing. It's not the next shiny thing. It's the thing that we need to add to the toolbox that gives us a more well-rounded thing so we can build the house. If I just have a hammer, I need nails. Okay, now I need wood. And now we've just started building this house. And if you're not a homeowner and you've never really had to deal with it, when you own a house, it sucks. And sometimes things break and you got to fix them. And if you don't have that toolbox and something happens, then you're screwed and you have to rely on somebody else to do that. So we've been able to patch everything up together ourselves.
So what I have personally learned, I've learned that you can do it originally. You can initially start off doing yourself. You can build awareness. You can build a following by being genuine. And I think it's like, scale happens like organically. So like when you're slower, And I'm convinced that once you buy into, social media, advertising and marketing, you're going to get busier. Just like anything else, I am convinced, though, that you have to purchase ads. You have to get skin in the game. Like the whole narrative of this conversation, you have to make mistakes. You have to put yourself out there. And then eventually you're going to have some help. Yeah. I can't run a store anymore. I have my managers. I have my, shift leads. I have my valued salespeople, and part of that is Brian and Tyler, my assistant, and Brian, who handles all the meat and potatoes. Because I don't have the time to, sit there and take courses. Like I can barely even finish half.
I do. I work nights, man.
Right. So good to great. Yeah. Good to great. Yep. Bus. Going to success. We're trying to get the good people on as much as possible, get the bad people off quickly. And then once you have all the people on the bus, where do you put them on the bus, right? So we all have an opportunity. Maybe the spot you put them is not the best spot, and if they don't make it, they get tossed out the back, right? But, in terms of a business, a small business like mine, hopefully to become medium, we're virtually like in 2.5 years going from extremely small to the point where like medium, like I go to the bank, I go to the back office. That was a high, right? Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm in the back office.
You're now
the front. I'm not in the glass
medium business.
I get my own office visit consultation. But
awesome.
Anyways, you got to put people on, man. Like and I can't do it all. So there's people that like Brian. People like Mag One that could do it for you. Yeah, and it's just the whole conversation is about there still doesn't mean I wipe my hands of it and walk away, because I'm a control freak. I want to know all aspects. I've been doing it myself, but getting people on your bus to success, and it requires more breaking of bread out of my bank account or the business bank account. But there's nothing. If anything, I had to stop spending money on, including personal stuff, I would never ever stop spending money
on Facebook ads,
on Facebook ads, and the right people on my team. Yeah, so Mag One could be your team.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I have.
You
Brian
have
and me.
You have Brian and Brian, and that's
probably surprised. We're not as dumb as we look.
No,
right?
that's an amazing partnership to find, because there ain't a lot of Brians. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
like I said,
Mag Ones.
I turned it into my own thing. Yeah. I mean, I know, I have my own business. You can find me on Instagram as well, at Meek Marketing Consulting. But that's because of him. Yeah. I was given the opportunity to do something. I did it. I did it well, and I was given another opportunity, and I took advantage of it, and I did it, and I stumbled, walked, ran, and now it's like we tell each other all the time. It's like holding onto a rocket ship sometimes. Like it's just, and so, I mean, there's a lot of garbage out there. There's a lot of people selling you crap. And there's a lot of people selling you good stuff. You can learn this all on your own. Yeah. You can learn it for free. You could pay to get the education. You can pay to do it yourself, or you can pay somebody to do it right.
2009 or 10, one of my clients literally handed me a Google AdWords, Google AdWords book. It wasn't a For Dummies book, but it was like a Google AdWords book, and it's still relevant today.
Right.
It's
you can learn. I mean, you have YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram. You can literally learn anything you want. They give you all the tools you need for free. You know why? Because they want you to spend money with them. So they're going to teach you for free. You can become more advanced. You can want to learn more in a specific subject, or you can try to figure it out and go a long way. He ran out of time. I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's what we solved. We solved the problem.
And as your business continues to grow, you might need a second one of yous. You might
already do.
There we go, 2 or 3. But there we go. This is a good model for businesses, people that are listening. And again, we have clients that we still help them, even though they have their internal team. So it's all what you need. Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I mean, I can see this going on. As
we could talk here for another hour.
I got to get to work.
Guys, I'm gonna wrap this up here. Like we kind of keep saying, we can talk for 2, 3, 4 hours. I could ask you 10, 20, 30 more questions. Part 2 is coming soon. We got to do this again.
Absolutely.
You guys have your business only but a couple steps away. I really appreciate your time, Brian. Chris, thank you so much for being on here.
Appreciate your time.
One more time, share everybody your website one more time. Everybody can know where to find you on Instagram. Make sure they go in and follow you guys?
So.
www.
I have 5 or what?
ShopMaxFit.
ShopMaxFit.com is basically our supplement site.
At ShopMaxFit on Instagram
right.
and MaxFit Meals on Facebook.
Yeah, MaxFitMeals.com, which is going to be upgraded here in a couple of days because we're starting to ship.
Nice.
My partnership, Seamus Gio.
201 Main.
Yeah.
But we are growing into a new facility that is going to, again, challenge our skill set into
bigger things.
Yeah. Shipping not just a local, but
Regional.
shipping
We're
regional.
regional.
And we're not trying to bite off more than we can chew. So we're going to pick some close by regions and try to dominate like we do here in those particular regions.
We got
subscriptions and stuff that auto.
We can almost have a whole nother conversation, a
Yeah,
whole nother
man.
podcast on e-commerce right here.
Yeah.
I think,
Forbidden Labs.
Well, here's the beauty of me. Like I love not knowing the next venture. That fear is what it's like we're gonna go slay that dragon, and I'm not gonna stop. So that's it's not that this is boring, because it's anything but boring with our local business climate. But if we can influence, if we can bring our product, what I know is superior to anybody else's, and that's no disrespect, it's superior because I have 14 and a half years of obsessing on perfection and fanatically finding the best products to put for sale. The people out there deserve it, you know what I mean? And it's my obligation to bring that to them, right? So I see a lot of stuff happening, collaborations, a lot of stuff locally, and I think it's like the time is up. It's our time, right? It's our time. It's our time to change the narrative in Salinas. Even though I'm not from Salinas, I this is where I live.
This is your home. This is your
It's
town.
what's made me who I am.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm a transplant. I apologize for that. I'm not here to step on anybody's toes. I like going to a Blue Zone thing and Bruce Taylor, knows who I am. That wouldn't happen 4 years ago. So for me, it's trying to provide value, and we're going to continue that. We're going to continue to heavily invest in that. So
So we have Forbidden Labs with a Z.
His job is to keep me on track.
keep you on track. We have Forbidden Labs, ForbiddenLabs.com with a Z, at Forbidden Labs, both on Facebook and Instagram, and then Barney'sBlend.com, and then on Facebook and Instagram, Barney's Blend. MaxFit Meals, we have ShopMaxFit on Instagram, MaxFit Meals on Facebook.
MaxFit Monterey.
MaxFit Monterey on Instagram. And then I think
store locations. Store location.
Yeah, so we're right down the street here on 341 Monterey Street here in Old Town or City Center, depending on your preference, right?
Old Town Salinas.
Yeah, right. That's my preference as well, because old and tradition is good, right?
And the Monterey location, street?
It's 520 Fremont Street, and we're right next to the Monterey Mercedes dealership. Right up from El Estero Car Wash. Parking in the back.
Excellent.
Parking in the front. Parking wherever you want,
Speakeasy in the back.
Speakeasy in the back. Come in, heat up your food, hang out, converse. Yeah.
Well, again, cool. I admire you guys, and I think your guys' works on your work on Instagram and Facebook, and what you guys are doing on social media. It's really powerful. It's really inspiring. And again, we thank you for being on the show, taking the time to be here with us.
100%.
Everybody that's listening, or if you're just watching, make sure you're smashing that subscribe button. Tune in and subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're listening. That's all the time we have for today. But thanks for watching. Make sure to shop MaxFit. Peace.